Hello, welcome to this presentation of the AMLE magazine and middle school journal articles that I, Justin Harvey, have read and will review for us today. I won't read all of this information because I want to get through this presentation in under the 10 minutes, but you can see here the volume of the AMLE magazine that I chose from December 2015. And to briefly highlight some of the things I noticed of this magazine, it's designed much like other magazines that we might see, contemporary magazines, photos, illustrations, combination of short and longer articles, including editorials, feature articles. These are written by professionals in the education, slightly more informal in writing style than the middle school journal. However, still more formal than you might find in your typical magazine. Contributors range from classroom teachers, college professors, to founders of the middle school movement. I'll look at a Lounsbury article in a bit. Target audience includes educators, parents, anyone else working with middle school age students. And they're very accessible articles to a diverse audience and should be read by that above targeted audience. The middle school journal I found to be much more presented like a professional or academic journal, much more text heavy with abstracts, overview and analysis, with more formal writing style. They have extensive citations for each journal entry. In each journal entry, I found this interesting, references specific characteristics from This We Believe. And so again, for that reason, I said that the target audience seems to primarily be professionals in education, but that it could be accessible to people outside of the professional community. Similarities are that they are both aimed at helping those involved in educating young adolescents. The caliber of writing for both is very high, engaged, well-informed, and since they are both AMLE publications, both are committed to the principles laid out in This We Believe. The first article that I read was It's a Selfie Thing, the Role of Artifacts in Teacher Evaluation. This article was written by Amber Chandler. She's an ELA teacher and ELA department chair at Frontier Middle School in Hamburg, New York. This article, she suggests that with professional performance reviews becoming front and center, Chandler suggests that we take a selfie approach. Just like a selfie or status update on social media shamelessly, she says, promotes our interests or the activities in our everyday life, we need to treat our professional evaluations similarly. She says to take charge of an area that is in your realm of influence, how you present yourself and your profession. That realm is documenting your achievements using artifacts that are already probably within arm's reach right now. Some of the examples of those artifacts include examples of student work, emails from parents or students, photos of students working, test class data, magazine articles, journals, etc., that show extensive knowledge and interdisciplinary connections. In other words, gathering a lot of these artifacts that we might not consider as important to our professional review, but having all these artifacts to collect and present with our professional review to show our development and to show the good work that we're doing in our classrooms. The article from the middle school journal that I chose was Paired Text, A Way into the Content Area. This is written by Lisa Sisierski, I'm probably botching that name, and William Bentz. Lisa Sisierski is an assistant professor of language and literacy education at Penn State Erie. William Bentz is a professor of literacy education in the Department of Teaching, Learning, and Curriculum Studies at Kent State University. This article asks the question, how can teachers help students make connections across texts and also across content areas? And they suggest that we use paired texts. In other words, two texts that are somehow conceptually related, either by topic, theme, genre. And so by providing these paired texts, we build upon students' background knowledge. We support reading comprehension, in other words, making meaning out of the text that they're reading. We promote critical thinking, asking critical questions, and promoting those critical thinking skills that are written into every standard. Enhances classroom conversations, increase motivation and engagement. In this research, they found they worked with a fifth grade social studies teacher to develop a 5-week inquiry-based project that incorporated several paired text sets. As they added more of these paired texts through the weeks, they found that the students engaged in self-directed conversation in which they displayed increasing understanding of and engagement in the content area. And then in this case, that was the civil rights movement. And I really like the idea of building this curriculum around paired texts when it comes to introducing these new concepts and working on literacy skills, because students don't always come to us with the ability to make those intertextual across text connections. And they don't come to us with that comprehension piece always, making meaning out of a text, or those critical thinking skills where they're asking not questions that go beyond the surface level about what they're reading. Using these paired texts has been shown to develop these student skills in areas more than a single standalone text would have. And here you can see some responses that students gave to using this paired text model. And essentially what you can see here is that they're saying that they found it more interesting. They heard more details, more descriptions. They thought about it from multiple points of view, and that was a benefit to these students. Finally, briefly wanted to mention this article by John Lounsbury, where he says that students need time to talk. And you can read his quotes here, but in essence, he's saying that a lot of teachers bemoan the fact that students come to school and see it as a social institution, and that he says that's actually an asset. We can use that. We can use their desire to communicate to one another to create power for learning. I highly suggest that article. And an article that I would choose to write or to research or like to see written is how can we empower students to better utilize the technology they currently have when it comes to their academics. You can see some of those questions I have spelled out here, but how do we get them to self-directed utilization of those technologies, tools that they have to further their educational experience? Finally, here's a table of contents from the issue of AMLE magazine that I looked at. I highly encourage you to look at this November-December and 2015 issue. Thanks so much for listening. Please let me know if you have questions about either one of these, and thanks so much.